Dragon Ball is a series celebrated for its iconic arcs, the Saiyan Saga, Frieza Saga, Cell Games, and the Tournament of Power, to name a few. These arcs are carefully crafted, with pacing, stakes, and character development all tightly woven into the story. But what if I told you there is an arc that was never meant to happen? This isn't a theory about fan-made content or forgotten filler. It is a story that almost didn't make it into Dragon Ball as official continuity, yet it left a lasting mark on the series and its fans. It's an arc that challenged the creative team, subverted expectations, and, for better or worse, added a unique twist to Dragon Ball's timeline. In this video, we're going to explore everything about this never-meant-to-happen arc. We'll dive into the behind-the-scenes decisions, the production challenges, and the narrative consequences that shaped the story. We'll examine how this arc altered character development, introduced unforeseen plot elements, and created ripple effects that fans still debate today. By the end, you'll understand why this arc is so fascinating, not just as a story, but as a glimpse into the creative process of Dragon Ball. It's a tale of ambition, improvisation, and sometimes sheer chaos, and it reveals a side of the series that few casual fans ever experience. So buckle up, because we were about to explore a chapter of Dragon Ball history that was never supposed to exist, and yet somehow changed the course of the franchise. To understand why this arc was never meant to happen, we need to go behind the scenes of Dragon Ball's production. Unlike the meticulously planned arcs like the Frieza Saga or Cell Games, this story emerged from a mixture of creative experimentation, timing pressures, and sometimes sheer improvisation. The arc began as a concept that Toyotaro and the Dragon Ball creative team weren't initially confident would fit into the established continuity. Several factors contributed to this hesitation. First, the series was already balancing multiple timelines, power scaling, and complex character development. Adding a new arc risked disrupting the flow, potentially contradicting earlier narrative choices. Second, the original manga and anime had limited space to explore side stories, meaning any additional material had to justify its existence, both narratively and thematically. Despite these challenges, the arc was greenlit due to a combination of fan interest, editorial decisions, and opportunities to expand on underutilized characters. The team saw it as a chance to explore what-if scenarios that didn't quite fit the main storyline but offered creative freedom. This is why some sequences feel experimental. New forms, unusual character interactions, and even alternative outcomes that diverged from the expected trajectory of the series. Production constraints also shaped the arc. Animators and writers had to work quickly to integrate it into ongoing episodes, often adjusting plot lines mid-production. This led to inconsistencies, abrupt transitions, and elements that feel more improvisational than the carefully structured main arcs. Yet paradoxically, these challenges gave the arc a unique charm, a sense of unpredictability and surprise that mainstream arcs sometimes lack. It's important to note that while the arc was unconventional, it was never intended to be ignored or forgotten. The creative team carefully planted connections to the main story, subtle hints at character growth, and foreshadowing that would later pay off in other arcs. In many ways, the arc serves as a hidden bridge, linking past events to future developments in ways that casual viewers might not immediately recognize. Ultimately, the origins and behind-the-scenes story of this arc reveal the tension between planning and improvisation in Dragon Ball. It shows how the series can take risks, experiment with its narrative, and still create moments that resonate decades later, even when those moments weren't originally intended to exist. After the Cell Games, Akira Toriyama originally intended for Gohan to take center stage as the new protagonist. Goku's story had reached a high point, and it seemed natural for the next generation to carry the torch. Gohan, however, presented a unique challenge. Unlike Goku, whose heroic personality and love for battle made him a dynamic lead, Gohan was reserved, thoughtful, and academically focused. Toriyama struggled to write him as the central figure in a high-stakes, action-driven saga, finding it difficult to replicate the energy and excitement Goku naturally brought to the narrative. This creative hurdle coincided with the introduction of a new villain, Majin Buu. Buu was unlike any threat Dragon Ball Z had faced before. Magical, almost indestructible, and capable of regenerating from nearly any injury, he represented chaos in both form and philosophy. His multiple transformations, from the childlike Fat Buu to the merciless Kid Buu, provided varied challenges for the heroes, requiring them to adapt constantly. Buu's unpredictability forced not only Gohan, but all the Z fighters to confront threats that could not be defeated by strength alone, highlighting strategy, teamwork, and moral decision-making as essential tools for survival. Meanwhile, the saga allowed for deep character development across the cast. Vegeta, long defined by pride and rivalry, experienced a profound transformation. His self-sacrifice against Buu illustrated a rare moment of humility and dedication to protecting his loved ones, marking one of the most memorable arcs of redemption in the series. Goten and Trunks, introduced as young Saiyan hybrids, added new dynamics with their fusion technique, creating Gotenks and injecting humor, creativity, and surprising power into the battles. Even supporting characters like Piccolo and Supreme Kai were given opportunities to shine, demonstrating intelligence, leadership, and moral resolve. Ultimately, the saga's core conflicts weren't just physical. They revolved around the tension between Gohan's potential as a hero, Goku's return to leadership, and Buu's chaotic threat. Through these struggles, the narrative explored themes of growth, responsibility, and the balance between power and morality. The combination of an untested protagonist, a wildly unpredictable villain, and evolving secondary characters made the Majin Buu Saga a unique chapter in Dragon Ball history. One that might never have existed if not for editorial insistence and Toriyama's willingness to adapt his story. The creation of the Majin Buu Saga was not purely the result of Akira Toriyama's inspiration. It was also heavily shaped by editorial guidance. After the Cell games, Toriyama had envisioned the series concluding, with Gohan stepping into the hero's role. While he initially struggled to write Gohan as the lead, his editor, Fuyuto Takeda, recognized the potential to extend the story and convinced Toriyama to continue Dragon Ball Z beyond its intended endpoint. This intervention was crucial. Without it, the Buu Saga would likely never have existed. Takeda encouraged Toriyama to explore new villains, unique powers, and inventive storylines that expanded the universe. Editorial input also helped refine Buu as a character, ensuring he could be both menacing and whimsical, balancing danger with unpredictability. Buu's design and personality were crafted to appeal to both younger viewers and longtime fans, blending comedic elements with serious stakes. Behind the scenes, production constraints also played a role. The anime adaptation required careful pacing to integrate the saga without contradicting previous storylines. Toriyama worked closely with animators and writers, providing guidance while allowing for creative freedom in filler and adaptation sequences. This collaboration ensured that even though the saga had a loose and experimental feel, it maintained continuity and connected to the main narrative. Another key influence was fan expectation. Following the high stakes of the Cell games, audiences were eager for a continuation, and editors were acutely aware of this demand. They pushed for an arc that would deliver dramatic battles, memorable transformations, and compelling character moments. This pressure shaped both the storytelling and pacing, motivating Toriyama to include elements that might have otherwise been omitted, such as the introduction of Gotenks, the exploration of Majin Buu's multiple forms, and the redemption arcs for characters like Vegeta. Ultimately, the Majin Buu Saga is a testament to the collaboration between creator and editorial team. It demonstrates how guidance, persuasion, and careful oversight can expand a story in ways that a single author might not have pursued alone. Without Takeda's insistence, Dragon Ball Z might have ended with the Cell games, leaving fans to imagine a world where Gohan led the next generation and Buu never threatened the universe. Instead, the saga became one of the most memorable, expansive, and influential chapters in the franchise, shaping the series' legacy for decades to come. The Majin Buu Saga left a profound mark on the Dragon Ball franchise, both narratively and culturally. By extending the series beyond the Cell games, the saga introduced new storytelling possibilities, expanded the universe, and created memorable moments that continue to resonate with fans worldwide. One of the saga's most significant impacts was on character development. Vegeta, who had spent years as a rival and anti-hero, experienced a full arc of redemption. His decision to fight Buu and ultimately to sacrifice himself demonstrated growth, empathy, and a willingness to protect those he once sought to dominate. Similarly, Goku's return to prominence reaffirmed his role as the series' central hero, while the younger generation, Goten, Trunks, and Gotenks, gained opportunities to shine, adding humor, creativity, and unpredictability to battles. Even supporting characters like Piccolo and Supreme Kai were given meaningful moments that deepened their roles in the story. The saga also expanded Dragon Ball's thematic scope. Majin Buu's multiple forms, each representing different aspects of his nature, explored the duality of innocence and evil, chaos and control. Themes of redemption, forgiveness, and moral choice became central, particularly in the interactions between the heroes and Buu. By blending action with emotional storytelling, the saga offered more than mere spectacle. It posed philosophical and ethical questions about power, responsibility, and the potential for change. Culturally, the Majin Buu Saga cemented its place in anime history. Iconic battles, transformations like Super Saiyan 3, and memorable moments, such as Goku's final Spirit Bomb against Kid Buu, have influenced countless creators and remain beloved by fans across generations. The saga's creative risk-taking, from experimental villain design to unconventional plot developments, demonstrated that Dragon Ball could evolve while staying true to its roots. Finally, the saga's existence underscores the importance of editorial influence in creative works. Without Fuyuto Takeda's persuasion, Toriyama may have ended the series with the Cell games, leaving an entirely different legacy. Instead, the Majin Buu Saga enriched Dragon Ball Z, provided closure for certain storylines, and set the stage for future developments, including Dragon Ball Super. In conclusion, the Majin Buu Saga is more than an extended arc. It is a testament to collaboration, creativity, and the willingness to take narrative risks. It reshaped characters, expanded the universe, and left a lasting impact on fans and the franchise alike, proving that sometimes the stories we almost never tell end up becoming the most memorable.